closely. Here's the latest on Tropical Storm Arthur. It actually looks like it has moved inland a little bit in the Texas coast. So actually it's pushed on land, making landfall in Matagorda, Texas, just west of Houston. So it's going to continue to weaken in the next several hours. But you notice it's an interesting looking storm. All of the heavy rain and storms associated with Arthur are pushed off to the east because there's strong wind shear working on it. So all of that moisture, all that rain and storms are going to be moving into central and southern Louisiana, into South Mississippi and the rest of the southeast and the Gulf Coast going into the rest of tonight into the next couple of days. So we'll show you what's happening with Arthur. It's going to continue to weaken and move inland into eastern Texas going into late tonight. So it does not really matter where the center of the storm is because all the impacts are shifted farther to the east because of that wind shear. We're starting to see some rain happen across our area at this point. We've got isolated showers in South Mississippi right now in Pearl River County. We have some heavier showers headed towards Poplarville, a little bit of spotty rain in Washington Parish and St. Tammany. Heavier rain, though, happening now in the river parishes and down the bayou, Thibodaux, Tahoma to Gramercy. So we have some heavy rain and thunderstorms rolling in ahead of Arthur. Some spotty showers happening now in the river parishes, too. Rainfall is going to continue to be more widespread and pick up in intensity later tonight. So we'll have these scattered storms into the evening. It's not until about 9-10 p.m. tonight we see some more heavy rain moving in from Morgan City down the bayou into the river parishes to Baton Rouge. This is around 11 o'clock midnight tonight. Heavy rain across the river parishes and also the South Shore. It looks like we'll have some scattered heavy rain into tonight. Overnight as well. The North Shore, southwestern and South Mississippi overnight into tomorrow morning. Ongoing heavy rain and flooding for tonight, overnight into early Thursday. That's going to be the window of the worst of the weather late tonight, overnight to tomorrow morning, where we're going to be dealing with flooding concerns, especially for the North Shore, South Mississippi and the river parishes. We'll see some more scattered storms into tomorrow throughout the late morning and into the early afternoon, but things really start improving going into tomorrow night and we get better. And then Friday, we'll see a few scattered storms lingering, but again, it's not going to be a whole lot going into Friday. We'll probably get a few tropical downpours on Friday with some lingering moisture, but we're going to have improving conditions going into Friday and this weekend. But there will be some storms still around on Friday with a low risk of flooding continuing until Friday because the grounds are going to be so saturated. So heavy rain and flooding, that's the biggest thing. We're widespread expecting roughly 3 to 6 inches of rain, but there could be some pockets, especially across the North Shore river parishes, southern Mississippi, that we get closer to maybe 6+ inches, maybe isolated pockets of closer to 10 inches. We will see where that sets up. There is a low risk of minor coastal flooding, 1 to 3 feet above normal high tide. It's going to be windy at times. The rest of today into tomorrow we'll have stronger gusts, 20 to 40 miles per hour. Also, there is a low risk for an isolated severe storm with gusty winds and an isolated tornado. But the biggest thing is going to be heavy rain and that risk for flooding across the Gulf Coast. For us, the North Shore may see anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain for the North Shore, the river parishes, and South Mississippi. The South Shore may get anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain. So it is kind of a big range across the area. We've been showing this where there's going to be potentially a bullseye of up to possibly 10 inches of rain. And that could set up potentially anywhere from Lafayette or north of Baton Rouge, I should say, north of Lafayette, north of Baton Rouge to the North Shore into South Mississippi. So we will see where that heaviest bullseye of rain could set up. That's where we're going to get those biggest flooding concerns. So we're going to see flooding rain and also river flooding. That's another huge concern with this. Our rivers are already on the rise across the North Shore and South Mississippi, and we're going to have some pretty bad river flooding with the rain that's going to be coming our way and continuing into tomorrow. So if you live along the rivers north of the lake, make sure you are moving away from those spots. Flooding is the top thing through today into tomorrow. Then we dry up this weekend for Father's Day. So Father's Day weekend looks a lot nicer, but it's going to be hotter back in the 90s.